back on drugs and I'm better than ever.
Yeah! It's the Rockin' Metal Revival!
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Drink it up!
And then you can bring your spunky little fuck bunyip on the road with us and I can finish eating that chocolate bar out of her sweet little girly bits.
Welcome to the show!
All right, horns up, metalheads. Time for another edition of Rockin' Metal Revival. Good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon, unless you're listening to this in the morning.
In the morning or at night.
Or at night.
Yeah. Weather is changing, man.
It is. It's global warming.
Global warming. It's actually nice here.
It is.
Which is scary.
Well, it's a good thing. Like I said, we record outside, so it's nice today. So we're out here in our skivvies.
Yeah. Looks good. Good thing we aren't doing this by Skype.
Yeah, really.
Hey, this show,
video.
This show, we got a big treat for Kiss fans. There's a book called Out on the Street.
Yes.
And we have one of the authors, one of the original Kiss crew. J.R. Smalling is with us. He's going to tell us...
tour manager
at
the time, yeah.
Actually going to tell us a little bit about what it was like when Kiss was actually a band and not a brand.
He's you wanted the best. You
Yeah.
got the best voice.
Yeah.
You.
So
Yeah.
that'll come up next hour.
We'll tell you how you can get the book, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But right now...
Because it's secret.
It is a secret right now. We'll tell you next hour. Right now, I could use a little bit of this. Here's some. Let's have some THC.
You're not playing big cock, are you?
No. No, THC.
Oh, need some THC.
That's
okay.
right. Let's start rolling. Another edition of Rock and Metal Revival is on the air.
So rolling, huh? All right, let's get to rolling. I'm always rolling. I don't know about you.
There is heavy metal's version of Porter Wagner. Chris Jericho from Fozzy and The Prisoner.
Porter Wagner. Wow, that's a real throwback there.
Dude, he came out last time I saw him, the night before Thanksgiving.
He came out? Porter Wagner did?
Oh,
Really?
yeah, that would have stunk. But Jericho comes out with this jacket on that lights up.
Oh, no shit.
And my wife turns to me.
Like Ace's guitar?
Yeah, my wife turns to me, who really doesn't like old country music at all.
Yeah.
And just looks at me and she goes, Jesus, it's Porter Wagner. I had to use that line once.
No,
yeah.
No shit. That's
So,
funny.
what's up, brother? What's new?
Not much.
Huh?
Not much. I'm glad to finally starting to warm up.
Yeah?
Other than that, we got shows we're going to be going to, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Finally, we started.
Good
yeah.
shows going to. Got some tickets, and we're going to be going.
We're going to be going to see Schenker again.
Yep.
And
Randy
Priest.
Rhodes. Yep.
You got tickets to that already?
To Priest?
Randy Rhodes.
Yeah, I got tickets for
Did
Randy
you
Rhodes.
really?
Yeah, I got tickets for the Randy Rhodes thing. Yeah, it got set up, dude.
And then Priest and Saxon.
That would be awesome. I never seen Saxon. I always
Yeah.
wanted to. Big Saxon fan.
And,
I always dug them.
I'm working on Hailstorm and Pretty
Oh, yeah?
Reckless. Yeah. And
Are
then,
you?
yeah.
In your dreams?
No, actually.
Or at night before
No.
you fall asleep?
I called a guy who wanted some country tickets, and he owes me a favor, so I think we're going to be going to see Hailstorm. And then Blackstone Cherry
Oh,
and
cool.
Shaman's Harvest.
Nice.
So some great shows. About
Yeah.
fucking time, hey?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Hey, I want to congratulate Andy's son, Rollin. His band is really taking off, man.
Oh yeah, and they're recording
A new album. If you go on Facebook, check out the band Beyond Threshold. Rollin Bell, he's my old co-host and our buddy Andy.
Yeah.
His son, and he is a shredder.
Yeah, he can play.
The kid can play.
And I'm his guitar tech.
And Jerry's his guitar tech. So,
Yep, I set up all his guitars.
But they're going out and they're playing some gigs with Soil.
That's why he's so good.
Hatebreed. And Blackstone Cherry and a lot of they're opening for some pretty cool bands and playing on some big stages. So congratulations to Rollin.
Yeah,
I remember the first time I saw that kid play, dude.
Yeah,
it was in a parking lot at a record store in Janesville.
Oh yeah,
and he never took his eyes off his feet. I don't think his head was down and he just played and just shredded. But he wouldn't look up. He didn't move. Now he moves everywhere. He's all over and he's become quite the entertainer, man. Good for him.
Cool.
So check out Beyond Threshold if you get a chance to see them in your area. I know they play in Michigan and Indiana and all over. So go out and check them out.
Could be cool.
Could be very cool. And let's see, what else we got coming up?
I'm not sure, man.
We got, well, like I said, we had J.R. Smallings on next hour.
Yeah.
That book is really cool. It's called Out
Out on the streets.
Out on the streets. And that is actually the opening line for Black Diamond.
Yeah.
And actually, JR was one of the original Kiss crew. And like you said, road manager for Kiss. When we kind of laugh when they were a band.
Yeah. Because it was tough back then. They didn't have a big name. It was fighting for everything that you could fucking get.
Yeah, and the book is very cool. Some really cool pictures and some cool stories. And he didn't really slam.
Yeah, not till the end.
Till the end.
And
they deserve that.
Yeah, they deserve a fuck of a lot more slamming than what they were given. So yeah, we're going to talk to him next hour. And I got that coming up. I can't believe you got us tickets to Randy Rhoads Remembered. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't tell me that,
go
dude.
to that, man. Yeah, you better fucking mark it on your calendar.
I wonder if I have to ask my wife if I can go.
Yeah, I know. You have to see. I'll send home a permission slip.
Okay. That'd be awesome. All right. So,
dear Mrs. Red, can
Red come out and play?
Can come out and go to a concert? I promise my mom's going to drive us, and she'll pick us up and make sure we make it home safe.
We should call your mom, see if she wants to go. All right, so
I'm sure she'd like to go.
Yeah, you can see your mom throwing the horns. Oh. We got to get your mom like a Slayer shirt and have her go to the horns.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to some music.
Okay, we could do that.
What do you say we play some Udo?
Udo?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, from the CD Decadent, I'm digging this CD. This one's called Under Your Skin on Rockin' Metal Revival.
It's like a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like under your skin.
Speaking of that, I need another one.
Yeah, right on your face.
Right on my forehead.
Yeah, big butt.
RMR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be like that dumb bitch who got Drake tattooed on her forehead.
Yeah.
Something that you're going to regret forever.
I'm regretting it now.
Finally, another use for your PC besides porn.
What, no points for safety?
Yes, but magnums, wow.
Yeah, well, you know.
Did you have a growth spurt?
Well, no, I've been working out. Just a lot of vitamins. I got a regimen.
Rockin' Metal Revival.
There's the Michael Schenker Group, and On. That's one of my favorites from him, man.
Yeah.
I really dig that CD.
Yeah, that was the second one.
Yeah. That was the first Michael Schenker album I ever bought.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to try out your pipe because we're going to be doing weird stuff, weird news, right?
Yeah, that's the pipe that I got you from Jamaica.
Yeah, with the butt on, chicken butt.
You like it?
Yeah.
Does it work good?
It works good.
All right, it's time now for some news of the weird. Jerry, you just go about what you're doing over there. Suspicious avocado shipment turned into to contain a literal ton of weed.
Ooh.
A ton of weed.
A ton of weed in avocados?
What's green, expensive, and really makes you want some chips?
Guacamole.
No, it's marijuana.
Oh, nice.
More than a ton.
Of
which was found inside a shipment of frozen avocado pulp at a cold storage facility in Lyon, Illinois.
Where's that?
Not far from here. Yeah.
We gotta go, man. We're done.
Facility staff alerted the Cook County Sheriff's Department. It's in Chicago.
Wow, nice.
Office to what seemed to be a suspicious shipment of more than 1,000 boxes that had arrived with instructions for an urgent pickup, according to the Cook County Sheriff's Office. While some of the boxes contained only frozen avocado pulp, others contained bricks of weed.
Nice.
Altogether, officials confiscated around 2,100 pounds of marijuana.
That is like over a ton.
Yeah, street value of $10 million.
So they were pretty much tipped off by
the other dealers.
By the amount they had to pay for those fucking avocados. Those are really
They're expensive,
man.
All right, well, Shakara Martin, naked Florida woman arrested for scaring people at Dunkin' Donuts.
Ain't that what you do?
No, I don't.
You don't go to Dunkin' Donuts naked?
Well, only when they've got that 13 donut special.
Oh,
that way I can carry 13 and 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah. You get a free donut?
Yeah.
If you do that?
Well, you get a free donut if you can eat that final donut.
Oh, God.
How about some cowbell on that one? That's bad. All right.
My hand.
All right.
I'm busy with this peace pipe.
All right. A woman arrested on indecent exposure charges at a Florida Dunkin' Donuts told police that she got naked as a dare. Employees at the franchise said Shakara Martin, 32, walked up to the storefront in West Palm Beach on Sunday. They said she wasn't wearing a scrap of clothing, Martin sat down at a table outside the store and began chatting up a man who was sitting there. Wasn't long before people began to complain. I wonder what she looked like.
She must not have been very attractive, otherwise I wouldn't have been complaining.
I guess one of the women that called in said she's completely naked and has got no bra. She's scaring off customers. Nice.
Maybe she was searching for seeing who could carry the most donuts.
Most donuts, exactly. Witnesses told police that Martin was offered clothes several times, but she refused to take them. She began apologizing when police arrived. All right.
I'm not sorry till the cops get here.
Otherwise, just deal with it.
Then she'd be like, "Hey, he stole my clothes.
Yeah.
My clothes back."
Police arrested man who allegedly stole a woman's car on first date.
He's a real winner.
Yeah,
I wonder if they've made a second date.
Yeah. They met on Christian Mingle. Authorities say a man who allegedly stole a woman's car during their first date last month has been captured. Waterford Township police say a 53-year-old Gerald Teets was arrested. Was arrested Saturday after the vehicle, which had the vanity plate Jersey Girl, was spotted in Cherry Hill. Teets and the woman, identified only as a New Jersey resident, became acquainted online and decided to meet up on February 26th. Teets allegedly told the woman his name was Geronimo Aldana, and he went by the nickname of Gooch.
Hey, Gooch.
More like Cooch.
Yeah.
At some point in the evening, Teets got the woman's car keys, and he took the vehicle.
Nice.
What a dumbass.
Nice. Yeah. Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle.
Does it every time.
Yeah.
You better watch it.
Exactly.
Nah,
Look out for people holding cigarettes.
Yeah.
All right. Arizona car pickup pot bales tossed from fleeing SUV.
See, now that's time you'd want to live in Arizona.
Exactly.
When they're throwing bales of pot out
An Arizona Sheriff's Department says some of the marijuana bales that suspects tossed out of an SUV during a high-speed chase last week got picked up by passing vehicles. You know, I could see you and I out in the middle of the interstate grabbing this stuff.
Somebody driving,
throwing
out,
giving us a finger.
We got to pick those up.
Dash cam video released by the Pinal County Sheriff's Office shows as many as 21 bales of pot inside the SUV flying out the window and onto roadways during the March 4th chase. Several of the bales broke apart as they bounced on the pavement. Sheriff's spokesman Jim Krupp said Tuesday that 17 bales totaling 374 pounds of marijuana were recovered, and 4 or 5 vehicles were seen stopping to pick up the rest. The chase spanned Interstates 8 and 10 near Casa Grande in south central Arizona and several local roads. It ended when the SUV pulled off the 2-lane road and stopped after driving over tire puncturing sticks. 2 men were arrested on suspicion of marijuana trafficking.
But they didn't have any pot on them.
Police.
They didn't have any pot on them.
Idiots. Okay, now, we got to get a hold of Aiken on this one.
Uh-oh. Is this him?
Akron perpetrator craps on at least 19 cars.
See, I could see Chris doing that.
After a night of
I
drinking and
wouldn't want to
karaoke.
see Chris doing that, but I could see.
Some men just want to watch the world burn. Police in Akron,
I'd
Ohio.
see Chris like flinging it though,
like a mad monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Police in Akron, Ohio are desperately searching for a serial perpetrator who has been terrorizing residents by pooping on and sometimes even in unsuspecting victims' cars.
Oh,
Can you imagine getting in your car and somebody shit on the front seat of your car? Man, I'd want this guy out.
I'd want this guy dead.
Since 2012, Akron police have received at least 19 reports of feces appearing on the hoods and handles of residents' cars.
So this is a serial shitter.
Yeah.
Huh? He's been doing this for a while.
In some cases smeared about, Cleveland.com reports. Those unlucky enough to have unlocked doors receive even a worse surprise. Our brave hero has had enough and set up a camera to flush out the suspects. He messed with the wrong guy, says this unidentified man in Cleveland on Wednesday. Since last October, his daughter's car has been defecated on 6 times, prompting the man to set up a camera and took photos every 12 seconds for 2 weeks. You know, maybe his daughter's into that.
Yeah,
and the guy's just missing her.
Yeah, maybe that's when that in that 50 Shades of Grey, they were pooping on each other's cars and stuff.
Did you go see 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh, hell no.
All right, neither did I. Okay, I got one more story here. This is going long. Okay, man cuts brother with Jesus license plate, cop says. State police says a man has thrown a Jesus vanity license plate at his older brother during a fight in Pennsylvania, cutting him badly enough to require treatment by paramedics. Nice. 45-year-old James Wild of Spring Hill Township is charged with simple assault and harassment over the argument with his 47-year-old brother. Police say Wild's brother was cut by the plate's large, sharp edge. A preliminary hearing on the charges is scheduled for March 31st.
But shouldn't it have healed itself?
Yeah.
If Jesus cut it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't he have
healed it? Guy keeps messing around.
You sure it wasn't Jesus?
Hey. It could have been.
Could have been Jesus.
Could have been Jesus. They just didn't.
Yeah. They just because it reads that way doesn't mean it's pronounced that way.
Exactly.
Jeez.
All right, that's going to wind up news for the weird. That was sad. All right, what do you say? Let's play some Anthrax.
Okay.
Anthrax.
Perfect.
From the Sound of White Noise, this is Black Lodge on Rock and Metal Revival.
Here's your latest hard rock and metal news on Rock and Metal Revival.
All right, metalheads. Time for talking real metal. News you can't use. This is real stuff. What are you doing?
I'm getting all wrapped up in these chords.
Don't get all wrapped up. All right.
Holy crap.
It's kicking off the news today. Doro Pesch says she never felt different being a woman in heavy metal. I don't think Veronica feels different either, do you?
No, there's...
If you're either metal or you're not.
I didn't feel her beforehand, so I wouldn't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
I can't go back in time either, though.
No, exactly. So. Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx on retiring from touring. It's not about money, it's about credibility. They lost that a long time ago.
Yeah, if it was about credibility.
Yeah, they'd have quit after Dr. Feelgood. Yeah. Richie Kotzen says the Winery Dog's second album will musically surpass the debut. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I am too. I'm hoping it's good, at least as good.
I got to point this out to my wife.
Okay.
Slipknot's Mick Thompson suffers stab wound to the back of his head in knife fight with brother.
That's not good, man.
Keep going.
Knife fight with your brother.
Keep going to see the geniuses there, honey.
It happened at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
They're from Iowa, for Christ's sake. You're lucky you didn't stick a pitchfork in the back of his head.
I'm sure they weren't highly intoxicated.
No, probably not.
No.
Slash has already started working on material. Yeah, Slash has started working on new material for his next album. That'll make Brenda happy.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Megadeth auditioning one of Dave Mustaine's final pick for the new guitarist. When do you go, bud?
I'm not supposed to say anything, man. Okay. I'm not on. We haven't signed anything yet. Okay.
Udo Dirkschneider says clever marketing helped Acceptland first ever #1 album in Germany with Blind Rage. Besides the fact that it's a great album.
Yeah, it turned out good, and they,
to put out a quality product.
Yeah.
Lips on Anvil's early days, we were trying to do something that no one else did or tried.
Yeah. And then their last album sold 800 copies.
You got one?
First week? No. But that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but Lips actually hung out with you in your van.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And so I got nothing bad to say about them. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
But I wish they had more popularity and they could make a living doing it,
Vivian Campbell's Last in Line returns to studio to record more songs for debut album. That's good news.
Cool. I'm looking forward to hearing some of that.
Dawkins' Jeff Pilson gets back missing bass after 23 years.
Yeah, some dude bought it at a store.
Yeah. Bought
it from a pawn shop or something, and he ended up being friends with Jeff Pilson for years, and found out about the bass at one point, and still didn't give it back to him. But recently he did. He showed up at his door. Here's your bass, dude.
Here's something that I know that we're not going to. Nickelback, Avenged Sevenfold, Judas Priest, and Shinedown to headline this year's Rockfest.
Oh. Yeah. Woohoo.
Alice in Chains.
You're going to that, aren't you?
No, I am going to Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains announces U.S. tour.
That'd be cool. Yeah, you like them.
I do. Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti reissue sells more than 40,000 copies in the first week.
How? That's crazy.
That's awesome. Def Leppard has finished recording its new album. We'll probably see that in a couple of years. Motley Crue's heavy metal.
Now they finished recording it. Now they got to make it sound good.
Yeah.
So that's going to take a while.
Motley Crue's heavy metal grill food truck explodes in Minnesota. 2 people hurt and homes are damaged.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Nikki was sitting in there smoking.
Or Vince is
Fart.
trying to
They ate
deep fry something.
Too many beans.
Yeah. And Tracy Guns, Rudy Sarzo, Keith St.
Vince was living in it.
Yeah. Greasy bastard.
Oh, jeez.
Tracy Guns, Rudy Sarzo, and Keith St. John's join forces in Gunzo. I'd like to hear that.
Gunzo. Yeah. There's
right.
so many projects now, though. Holy cow.
That's going to wind
That'd
up
be good,
news you can't use, talking
Okay.
real metal. So coming up next hour, we'll talk to J.R. Smalling from the original Kiss Krew. The original Kiss Road Crew is going to talk to us about the early years when Kiss was a actual band.
Yes.
All right. Now let's get back to some music. Let's get a little fucked up. What do you say?
I already am.
All right.
But less we can.
Here's Big Cock on Rock and Metal Revival.
This portion of Rock and Metal Revival is brought to you by...
Do you ever hear yourself?
All right, let's keep it civil in front of the boy. It's bad enough. His mother pulled a train on Kiss.
I was in college.
Get your things out. Let's go.
I'm out of here. You don't have to tell me twice.
There's Saxon and Princess of the Night on Rock and Metal Revival. Dude, I'm looking forward to seeing Saxon.
I am too, man. That would be cool. I hope they play some of that old stuff.
I'm not as familiar with them as you are. You know what I mean? I mean, I know a few of their tunes, but I'm looking forward to it.
Their newer stuff kicks butt.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah, their
listen to some
newer
before
stuff
we
is
get on
really
there.
good too.
Yeah, well, you know they're only going to get about a half hour, 45 minutes for a Priest.
Nah, yeah. Probably about, hopefully 45.
Yeah.
So you never know.
But I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, coming up on the show, we've got the man who gave us You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best, the hottest band in the land. That was pretty cool, dude. I always wanted, that would be like my bucket list.
That was, because, I mean, all right, you get this album. The first day you bring it home, you put it on, all of a sudden you hear his voice before you even hear the band.
Yeah.
And even that gets you stoked. Fucking great intro. Cool.
Dude,
cool.
I mean, I
shit.
can say this a million times and I really mean it. That album changed my life.
Yeah, look at my freaking room.
Yeah.
All the guitars and stuff, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
No, that album, and what's going on with Kiss now sickens me. You know, being a Kiss fan, I know you won't buy a thing from them now.
No, nothing that they're endorsing or part of. Any fucking money going to them, I ain't buying it.
I know, but it's just as a lifelong Kiss fan, it just sucks what it's come down to be.
Yeah.
You know, but having JR on the show, he tells us about more of a happy time.
Yeah.
You know, when
everything was
cool.
They were fucking fighting everybody else instead of each other.
Exactly.
You know?
So we looking forward to talking to J.R. Smalling. So what do you say we play that legendary start off from Kiss Alive 1? Here's Deuce.
Okay.
All
So
right.
go sit right in front of your record player.
Turn this up loud.
Yeah.
Turn it up loud in here, okay?
Okay.
All right. Here's Kiss on Rock and Metal Revival. From probably one of my favorite albums, it probably top 3 of all times, Alive 1. There is Kiss and Deuce.
Oh, yeah.
On Rock and Metal Revival.
First rock album I ever owned.
It's really the album that turned me into kind of a hard rock metalhead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
me too.
the thing I love about it, dude, is that's when Kiss was a hungry rock band, not a marketing machine.
A corporate entity. Yeah, exactly.
We are lucky enough to have on the phone with us one of the original Kiss Krew. I'm talking about J.R. Smalling. He has a new book out called Out on the Streets. And J.R., welcome to Rock and Metal Revival.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. How you doing?
Good.
It's a good day. It's always good when we can talk Kiss on this show. And I just want to say I really enjoyed hearing the perspective of somebody who was with my favorite band back when they were actually still a rock and roll band.
Yeah, well, that was the whole intent, you know. A lot of books have been written, as you know, by the band and, you know, by people from the outside. But when I got together with my co-authors, you know, Peter Moose Oroquinto, Rick Monroe, and Mick Campisi, it was our intent to write the book in our words, you know, from our perspective, and to kind of give it a feel like the reader was just kind of eavesdropping or sitting in with a bunch of old friends getting together and reminiscing about the good old days. So that's what we did, and we hope that everyone enjoys it.
Well, reading through the book, and I know through being a Kiss fan and listening to all the history of Kiss, what was it like, before all the pyro and everything really took off to the extreme that made them the hottest band in the land?
The pyro was there from day one. Everything was there from day one, and I'm really proud to say that, for all intents and purposes, the show that we four put on, the four in the Krew, we like to call them the original Kiss Crew, or TOC for short. Mm-hmm. But the same show that we put on 40 years ago was, for all intents and purposes, the same show that they do today. From day one, the drums were levitating, there were flash pods, there was smoke, Gene was spitting fire, there was the columns of flame, and everything else that everyone has come to know as your basic Kiss show. So we did that back in those days with 4 people, and of course today it's much bigger and grander. They've got a lot of money now, and probably 10 or 15 as many guys in the Krew as we had back then. But we were bound and determined to put that same show on, no matter the size of the venue. We scaled the effects down when we played clubs, so that it wasn't as earth-shattering, the flash pods and things like that. Mm-hmm. Or if we were an opening act, and only had a few feet of space on stage, we still managed to get everything off for the most part, unless we were absolutely forbidden to do that by the fire marshal in whatever city that we were in. But we're very, very proud to say that we did the job, and I think that anyone that saw the show back then would probably agree that we did it pretty well.
Now, with what happened with Great White at that club show, and they just had that little bit of pyro compared to what you guys were doing back then, there's quite a difference. You guys got pretty lucky then, as far as not having any huge accidents besides Moose, getting his hand messed up with that exploding drumstick and stuff. But
yeah, well, in the book we talk about the incident with Moose, and we don't think that it was an accident. We pretty much come out and say that it was sabotage, but
yeah,
we can talk about that in a little bit. But you make your own luck, and we were taught early on about how to deal with various safety issues. Everything that we did was with safety in mind, because let's face it, no one had all of that open pyro and open flame at the time, and most acts still don't have that.
Yeah.
And had there been any type of an incident, even approximating the Great White tragedy, then that pretty much would have been it for Kiss at the time. So the fact that they're still around 40 years later, like I say, we take great pride in that, because that meant that we did our job well, and we did it safely.
Now let's go back to the day, and for those who haven't read the book yet, and I want to say yet because as a Kiss fan, it was an outstanding read. Explain to our listeners how the whole thing came together. Your relationship with the guys in the band, and how you guys became pretty much, I want to say, the minds and the hard work behind the success of Kiss.
Yeah, well, when the band started, like I said, it was just there was only 3 guys on the Krew at the time: me, Moose, and another guy by the name of Chris Griffin. Chris, for whatever reason, didn't last too long, and he was gone after the first couple of months. But there was the 3 of us. There was the gentleman that I like to refer to as the 5th member of Kiss, Sean Delaney, and Bill O'Corn. So on the road, there were really, the 4 guys in the band and the 4 of us, and we kind of created a little family kind of vibe amongst ourselves, and that we were all from New York City for the most part. And we took a lot of pride in watching our guys' backs, making sure that they were always safe and secure, and making sure that things went well. So that's pretty much how how we looked at things, and that's how we took things on. You know, when you're 1,000 miles away from home and looking decidedly different than the locals in whatever town you're in, you draw a lot of attention, and you have to not only be professional in what you do on stage, but you have to be, you know, vigilant and carry a certain kind of attitude and stature when you're off stage. And here again, you know, I'm proud that we did that.
Now, I've read a lot of Kiss books, and yours actually gave Sean Delaney a lot more credit for kind of being the choreographer and coming up with a lot of the ideas, and I hadn't heard that before.
Sean was the man, and it surprises me every time I hear someone mention that he never got you know, the adequate props that he deserved. I haven't read any of the books written by the band members in their entirety. I've skimmed through a couple of them.
Yeah.
You know, but it boggles my mind that Sean seems to have his participation seems to be minimized. When I tell you that Sean was he was really the mastermind behind helping the guys in the band bring out and discover realize, I guess I should say, all of the things that they wanted to do but didn't know how to do themselves. Mm-hmm. Sean and I met a few years before I started working for Kiss. He was a lead singer of a couple of bands in New York City, and I was working at a rehearsal studio that Sean's bands rehearsed at quite often. And he was very professional, spent a lot of time in rehearsals and choreography and vocals and songwriting, just like he did with Kiss, you know. So when I tell you that Sean coached each and every member of the band and how to develop their makeup and their onstage persona, Sean really helped them to put their wardrobes together, from the high heel platforms to the leathers and the studs and everything else. As you probably know, Sean is the guy that helps them with their choreography, mm-hmm. that they still use to this day in Deuce, and some of the iconic moves that they still use in Black Diamond and some other songs. He was a co-writer. He was really everything to the guys, and being a little bit older and having traveled and experienced life as a professional musician, he was able to kind of guide them through a lot of the experiences that they didn't have. With his experience, he helped them to progress a lot quicker than a lot of other bands would have without that type of input.
So now, Jer, looking back in the time, the big story was, Kiss goes out and they're the opening act for Blue Oyster Cult, and a year later, Blue Oyster Cult's opening for them. I mean, how was that going from this unknown band of guys with makeup on to being the headliner?
Well, it went pretty much as we expected it to go. Those of us in the Krew, I myself had worked on a bunch of tours before, in various capacities. I'd worked on the David Bowie, the Diamond Dogs tour, and I'd worked on a tour with Yes, and worked on some gigs with Jay Giles and a bunch of stuff. Moose had done a lot of work on Broadway. He was the designated pyrotechnician and sound engineer. Mick was the drum roadie. Peter automatically snatched him up as his drum roadie because they were both Italian. There was a little affinity going on there. And Rick Monroe was just a gung-ho lighting guy that had the same attitude like we had. We knew that a band like that had never been seen before, and we knew that they were going to be huge, and we really kind of took it on as a personal kind of challenge to get that monster of a show on each and every night. And between that type of dedication, of course, the guys in the band doing their thing on stage and in the studio and in interviews and the like, and just the sheer number of gigs that we did. I mean, that first year alone, we did over 125 gigs. So when you think about it, 1 out of every 3 days we were on the road, or on stage, I should say. If we weren't on stage, we were on the road getting to the next gig. And if we weren't doing that, they were either in rehearsals or they were in the studio. So, they're the type. Kiss was the band that ascended to headline status based solely on their sheer dedication to hard work and touring. They didn't have a hit record until much later in their career. When I say much later, I'm talking about from 74 to late 75 and into 76. But they moved up just because, the audience and the crowd knew that when they went to a Kiss show, they were going to see a kick-ass gig, and that's what propelled them, the success from opening act to special guest and ultimately to headliner.
So you got a lot of stories about opening for different bands, like the Argent one where you ended up putting their manager in the road case. That was pretty funny to make sure Kiss could finish their set.
Absolutely, yeah, that was fun. Like I say, I mean, we were gung ho. Nothing was going to stop, the band from conquering whatever audience they faced each and every night. And we really took that stuff seriously. And fortunately, by the time that we got through the better part of 74, promoters understood the importance of having Kiss on the show, because many times, regardless of who was headlining, Kiss was selling the most tickets because people just wanted to see this phenomenon on stage and to see if what they had been told by their friends who had seen them in a smaller venue a few months earlier, if they were correct,
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have to really throw our weight around, and we were very cool with everyone who was very cool with us. But you mentioned the Argent situation, and they were one of the groups that we didn't get along with, and we made sure that they knew that we weren't going to stand up for it, and we didn't.
Well, I gotta ask you this question now. After seeing, back when Kiss, when they were, up and coming like they were when you were working with them, to seeing that they wouldn't play together for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, how did that make you feel?
It's funny because having not been around, I like to consider our time, January 74 through June of 76. Those were the glory days for me. You know what I mean? Like you said when we started, that's when the band was young and hungry and just kicking ass and not even taking names. So it was a giant steamroller that couldn't be stopped. Not knowing what happened, or only witnessing from afar on the outside what happened after we left, it was very disappointing to see, how the band kind of disintegrated. And, it's funny, but it seems like things started to go downhill not too long after the original Krew was terminated.
Yeah.
So out of the fear of not wanting to say that we held it together, I will say that I think that after the original Krew was let go, everyone else that came in after that didn't have the same experiences with the band that we had, and as a result, maybe they couldn't relate to the band as friends, as employers, and as people who had been through the trenches with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They came in and it was a totally different vibe, and I think that some of the things that the problems that everyone's aware of between various members of the band, I don't think that was actually dealt with. Put it this way: those problems didn't exist to the extent that they did.
Yeah.
When the original Krew was around in the very early days. Having said that, it would have been nice to see them perform at the induction for sure. But let's face it, 40 years later, it was a very strenuous show. Peter, God bless him, being the oldest member of the band, maybe he could have done a couple of songs, you know what I mean? But the sheer energy that they put out in the early days, Gene certainly can't move like he could before. Neither can Paul. And that's not to be expected, It is 40 years later.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to see them, put a couple of songs together that wouldn't have put them in the grave, so to speak,
Exactly.
for the fans and for the nostalgia value. But like I say, I don't know. I only know what I've read, and that's not too much. But apparently, there's a lot of bad blood.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but such is life,
Well, and another thing I wanted to talk to you about, JR, that was the fantastic pictures in this book. Now, are these photos that you just collected over the years, or you went looking for when you decided to write the book? Did you get any help from like Lydia Chris?
Lydia donated a couple of shots. Finn Costello, who was an up-and-coming photographer at the time, who later went on to great success with a lot of bands. He donated a couple of shots, but also there were individuals like Charlie Massette, who was a photographer that actually was hired by a promoter to shoot Kiss's early gig at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, and he had a bunch of shots that hadn't been seen. Todd Dean, who's a very avid, Martin Dean, who's a very avid collector of memorabilia and photos. He donated some shots that hadn't been seen before, and just a bunch of people came together. It was funny because the Krew got together in Boston back in 2002 with an idea that the fans have just been on us to write the book for all of that time, and for whatever reason, I was on the road for a long time, and Moose has his own successful film reproduction company in Los Angeles. Mick became a teacher and who lived in Boston, and Rick spent maybe 20 years or more as Jimmy Buffett's lighting director. So we were never in the same place at the same time for too long. But for one weekend back in 2002, we got together in Boston specifically for the purpose of getting together and reminiscing and recording all of our thoughts and memories on tape so that we could have our thoughts together to put the book together. Of course, after that, we all went our separate ways again, and 12 years later, as in June of last year, Moose and I were talking, and we said, listen, this is really, we have to do this. The fans are demanding it. And really, we had some things that we wanted to say.
Yeah.
If you read the book, I think you'll agree that it's probably, 99 and 9/10% all warm and fuzzy memories and good vibes and all that. But,
it was.
Towards the end, the truth is the truth, and we had to get some of that stuff off of our chests as well.
Yeah.
So, we got together in June of last year with an idea of writing and releasing a few chapters in what we started to call editions on a weekly or, monthly basis online for purchase, with the thought that, maybe within a year we'll have the entire book, will have been released like that, in that serial type format, and then we'll put that together and we will do the hardcover book. But once we got started, it was, it just went very quickly, and we were rolling, and we were able to put it together in 6 months. And due to, in large part, because we wanted the fans to have something, for the Christmas holidays. We wanted the fans to have another piece of memorabilia that would shed some more light, from a different standpoint, like you said, on what was going on, but also, to have another item that they could hold in their hand and add to their collection. And thank goodness we did it.
Now, you are also a drummer, right?
I was a drummer, yes, sir.
So do you think Kiss could have used even more cowbell?
Well, Peter knew how to work a cowbell pretty well.
He did, for sure.
But there was, believe me, there was no shortage of volume and sound coming off of their stages, man. But yeah, they were an unbelievable band. And it was just a great experience, being involved to any extent around those guys. God bless.
Now, JR, tell everybody where they can find out more about your book.
The book, first of all, it's called Out on the Streets, taken from a lyric of Black Diamond, the opening lyrics to Black Diamond, which song that the Catman sang back in the day. And it is available online, first and foremost, on our website, www.theoriginalkisskrew, and that's Krew with a K, .com, theoriginalkisskrew.com. It's also available on eBay. And right now it's available on Amazon. We're not sure if we're going to keep it up there. But for sure, eBay and theoriginalkisskrew.com. For whatever reason, and it surprised us, we weren't able to find a publisher who thought enough about the validity of the book to publish it for us. So we had to publish it ourselves, and that meant that we did everything. We wrote it ourselves, we edited it ourselves, we promoted it ourselves, and we paid for the printing and the fabrication of the book ourselves. And as such, it is not available, unfortunately, in the brick and mortar type book stores like Barnes and Noble and the like. And God, we'd love to have it there, but that's just not to be at this point in time. But it is available online, and it is available either in an unsigned version and a signed version for a little bit more money. So anybody that really wants a personalized piece of history from some of the guys that helped to make it happen, check out the website and go ahead and pick up the book. You will not be disappointed.
Cool, very cool. So we're going to get on out of here with a song that most people know as a Gene Simmons tune, but you had something to do with it. It's the original demo of God of Thunder with Paul Stanley on vocals. Tell us just a little bit about this as we get on out of here.
Very quickly, that song came about in 1975, when the thought was that the group might have Bob Ezrin producing what would turn out to be the Destroyer album. And Bob was very busy at the time, having just come off of another hit record with Alice Cooper and working with everybody under the sun. And he would not consider signing on with Kiss unless he heard some material that they were proposing to include on the album that he was to produce. For whatever reason, Peter was not available, and I got a call.
Whatever reason, come on. I'm sure.
Well, I don't want to give it away. It's all in the book.
It's all in the book.
It's all in the book. Yeah.
All right.
But I got a call one morning, and the guys asked me to come down to the studio and lay some drum tracks for them, and I went down and we recorded 15 songs in 2 days, which anyone who's ever been in the studio knows it's a lot of work. Yeah. And God of Thunder was one of the songs that snagged Ezrin's ear. When you listen to it, obviously you'll hear that it's much faster, and like you pointed out, Paul originally wrote it, with himself in mind as the lead singer, but Bob decided to slow it down and make it one of Gene's signature songs. And, like it or not, that's what it became. So
the rest is
God of
history.
Thunder, that's what it is, man. That's right.
All right. Well, Jerry, we appreciate you coming on Rock and Metal Revival today.
For sure.
Hey, guys, listen, the pleasure is all mine. I really appreciate the opportunity. I want to say thanks to you and thanks to the fans for keeping the Krew in your hearts and minds over the years. We really appreciate it, man. So rock on, guys.
Hey, people, it's the V, Veronica Freeman of Benedictum. And I'm here to remind you that Red and Jerry are not entertaining, nor are they in any way informative. So thanks for listening to Rock and Metal Revival.
From the last quality Def Leppard album, in my opinion, there is, from High and Dry, it's Def Leppard and Let It Go on Rock and Metal Revival.
Yeah, they're never going to be like that again.
No, dude, I was talking with a guy at work today who grew up about the same time we did, back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And he's like, the only album Def Leppard ever did where the fuck was High and Dry. And I go, what about On Through the Night?
Yeah,
because I like On Through the Night. I thought that was a great album too.
Yeah,
and you know what?
The songs were a little more amateurish.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, but they were good.
I even liked Pyromania until the radio got a hold of it.
Yeah, until they drove it into your head. So you couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to hear any of that stuff anymore.
So, but hey, what a cool guy J.R. Smalling is, huh?
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like you and I were just talking, man. The more you think about it, that was the album that, for our demented minds, really changed us into...
Started us onto this warped fucking road that
we're on. Yeah, thank you, J.R.
Yeah.
All right.
You and them fucking other guys, look what you did.
Yeah.
God darn it.
So, hey, next week I hope to have Nick Perry from the band Mount Holly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played them last week. That's Zeppelin.
Yeah, okay,
and
cool.
he sent me a message. He said he'd love to be on the show and thanked us for playing the song last week. So we'll probably have them on the show next week. And to everyone out there, have yourself a great week. And remember these words of wisdom.
Which ones are those again?
Don't drink and drive. Smoke and fly.
Smoke and fly.
Peace.
Peace. Smoke and fly. Smoke a piece?
Fly.
Of flies?
Yeah.
Okay. I can fly, man.
This brings to an end another edition of Rock and Metal Revival. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell two. Until next time, this is Rock and Metal Revival.
So who put his hoo-hoo dilly in your cha-cha?
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radios on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time. On Rock 101 KLOL on Saturdays 11 p.m. Eastern. On Z-Rock 106.9 KKZR Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.